Hello Turcaholics and welcome back to Football a la Turca. This week we're previewing Başakşehir's Champions League opponent Olympiakos Piraeus, and joining me live from Greece, Athens is Stavros Markoulakis, a Greek football journalist. Stavros, thank you very much for joining us and giving us some information on Olympiakos.
It's my pleasure. Thank you to invite me to talk about this interesting match between Olympiakos and Başakşehir.
So let's get started. We, of course, I think Olympiakos played Beşiktaş a couple of seasons ago. Do you think that the team Olympiakos changed much in the last couple of seasons? I think it's been 2 years or 3 years already.
Yeah, they have changed a lot. Right now, Olympiakos is in a weird condition because from 1997 to 2017, Olympiakos won 19 championships in Greece, and now the last 2 years, AEK and PAOK have conquered the Greek championship. So it is an unusual place for Olympiakos, but that doesn't mean this team is in a crisis. They were in bad condition 2 years ago when AEK won the championship, but last year they improved a lot. It was just that PAOK had a tremendous season and finished the championship undefeated. But Olympiakos really improved, and an indication of that is that they kept Pedro Martins in the managerial position, even though they won no titles, and that is difficult for a manager to achieve in Olympiakos, to keep his position while not winning any titles. Their style of play, they're an attacking team. Martins plays beautiful, the team of Martins plays beautiful football. But I think that in moments that are crucial for the team, he can be realistic too. And we saw that in the previous game against Victoria Plzeň, in the first match in Czech. When things were difficult, the team, the manager introduced the three defensive midfielders, Markoulakis, Dindjer and Kamara, and played to keep the score 0-0. But in the game in Karaiskakis, he played the usual football that Olympiakos plays, and the result was a 4-0 victory. It is a very different team with many different players because 2 years ago Olympiakos had a bad season. The president of the team Olympiakos, Vangelis Marinakis, decided to make some drastic changes in the team roster and bring the Portuguese coach.
Yeah, and we saw, of course, Jose Sa is currently the goalkeeper at Olympiakos. That's a player that Beşiktaş were strongly linked with before they got Loris Karius last summer. And of course, Mathieu Valbuena, former Fenerbahce player, he has signed with Olympiakos this past summer. So you already said that they played a more defensive style, perhaps in Pilsen in the Czech Republic in the away match, which was first. This time around, they're again away first, which is arguably an advantage on the 7th, next week Wednesday, or this week Wednesday actually I should say, 7:45 European Central Time. They're playing the first leg, and that will be in Istanbul. Do you expect Olympiakos to play a similar sort of football going into that match than they did against Pilsen in the first leg?
Well, in the away game against Plzeň, they wanted to play attack in the first minute and in the first half, but they couldn't make it. They had problems, and Plzeň made a lot of chances. In the second half, he played more defensively and to keep the score 0-0 and go to Greece, where he could have where he could have a better game. I accept that in Istanbul, since Başakşehir is a better team than Plzeň, he will be more cautious, and I believe that the target will be to maybe take a draw in Istanbul and then go to Greece and win the match. I saw Başakşehir in the match against AEK, and I believe it is a very qualified team. They have very much quality. And I think the manager will be cautious as to the way he approaches the game.
Yeah, and of course we did see Başakşehir play AG in a friendly match this past week, and obviously that's done intentionally to gauge the strength of a Greek opponent. That match ended 0-0. That's an advantage for them to get a feeling for a good, strong Greek opponent. But on the other hand, of course, Olympiakos already have 2 official qualifiers in their legs. They're already a little bit further ahead, perhaps physically. Do you see it as
they are a more ready team than AEK. AEK is a team with many new players this season. They didn't have a good season last year. They're a new team. Olympiakos has some basis from the last year, and they build upon this basis. The bad thing for Olympiakos is the drawback for them is that they have lost their best player. Kostas Fortounis was the undisputed star of the team. Last year he had a tremendous season with 17 goals and 16 assists. And now he has a fractured ligament, and he will stay out of action for about 6 months. And this is a very big problem, and we saw it even against Plzeň. We saw that the team had some problem creating chances, especially in the away match. Because their game was based very much on Fortounis, and now against a stronger opponent, it will be interesting to see how the team will function without him.
And how did, for example, Matteo Valbuena settle at Olympiakos? Has he already hit the ground running? Is he playing at a high level already, or is he still very much adjusting to his new surroundings?
Right now, Valbuena tries to replace Fortounis in his role. It is a very difficult challenge. In the match in Karaiskakis against Plzeň, he made a good effort, and he had very good corner kicks. But of course, right now he can't 100% replace Fortounis. Fortounis was the most important player of the team, but certainly it is good to have a player with the experience of Valbuena. I think the most important addition this transfer window until now has been Ruben Semedo. He's a central defender from Portugal. Olympiakos acquired him with about 5 million euros from Villarreal, and he spent that much because they needed a leader in their defense. Last year, their main problem was that they didn't have a leader in their defense. Up until now, Semedo seems to be up to the task. He's an incredibly strong player. He's very good at headers. It seems impossible to take a header from that player. And for a guy of his size, he seems fast enough, and he's good enough with the ball at his feet as well. I think they have improved in defense. We said that they have a very good goalkeeper in Sa. But the riddle right now, I think, is in the offense, because they don't have Fortounis. Right now, their starting center forward is Guerrero, who is a good all-around player, but he's not really a guy who puts the ball into the net with very often.
Yeah, not a very prolific goal scorer.
Yes, he's not a prolific goal scorer. They have made another transfer, El Arabi. In the games against Plzeň, he only played for 10 minutes. The manager didn't feel he's ready. I think that against Başakşehir he will play more, but the starting center forward will still be Guerrero. So I am a bit. I think it is kind of a problem for Olympiakos right now in the offense. So as I saw, Başakşehir, they have some issues in their defense as well. In the match against AEK, there were some times when Klonaridis got behind their defense easily. So maybe they will find some areas to exploit in Başakşehir's defense, but I don't know if they will have the effectiveness to put a goal. They have a problem right now. Even though they scored 4 goals against Plzeň, many goals, for example, were from set pieces, from corner kicks. Certainly, this is a big strength for Olympiakos. In the set pieces, they are a very good team. But I think that Başakşehir also has tall players, and they might show some resistance in this field.
Yeah, generally Başakşehir are known as a defensively strong side, but they had some issues last season where their defensive leader Eprianu was injured for quite a while, and he's really the leader at the back and also very strong in the air. So we'll have to wait and see how that develops in these 2 legs. They also have a new coach, big change for them because all of their success really has come under the same man, Abdullah Avcı, who has now moved to Beşiktaş. And of course Emre Belözoğlu, a very experienced midfielder who was very important for Başakşehir over the past couple of years, has also moved away from the club. He has joined Fenerbahçe again. So they lost 2 very important figures there, both on and off the pitch, in terms of Emre and a very important figure in terms of Abdullah Avcı, who has really structured that club for the past decade or so, even though the club has officially been founded in 2015 or something, but before it was Istanbul Büyükşehir Belediye. What are your expectations? What do you think? How are the media in Greece? How are the fans looking towards it? Are they fearful of Başakşehir, or do they think, wow, we managed to defeat Pilsen, it'll be easy to get past Başakşehir, because Başakşehir are a relatively unknown small club. So what's the general assumption from people in Greece, and your personal opinion? What do you expect from the tie?
Well, yes, Başakşehir is a relatively unknown team, but when you see a roster with players like Arda Turan, like Robinho, like Gael Christie, you understand that this is a rich club. So there is respect for Başakşehir. I think that everybody knows that they will be a much more difficult challenge than Plzeň was. Plzeň didn't put much resistance, especially in the second game. And yes, I personally, and I think most people think that it is a derby. There are maybe 50-50 chances. Maybe I would say 60% for Başakşehir, 40% for Olympiakos. Because as I said, for Olympiakos, maybe if they had Fortounis, things would be different. But right now, it is a very big challenge to overthrow a team like Başakşehir without your best player. Yeah, in the attack, they wait for El Arabi, who is a proven goal scorer in Primera División, La Liga. But right now, the coach thinks he's not ready to be the starting lineup, as it seemed in the games with Plzeň. So I think that they don't have that many players to make the difference in their front line. There is, for example, Podence, a winger who is great at dribbling and he's good at creating chances, but he's not effective in front of the goal. For his quality, he should have scored a lot more goals.
Thanks you very much, Stavros, for your insights. Do you have anything to plug? Where can people find you on social media, for example?
I have a Facebook account with my name, Stavros Markoulakis, in Latin characters, and you can also find me in Instagram and Twitter with the same name.
Okay, we'll include Stavros' handle in the show notes. Give him a follow. Once again, Stavros, thank you very much. And good luck to Olympiakos and, of course, to Başakşehir as well.
I hope we'll see two close and good matches.
Yeah, let's hope for an entertaining game without any injuries and let the best team win.